Hey everyone, Eric Hayden here on YouTube. I have not done a video in a long time, so I want to do a quick one on Maiden roses. I cannot remember if I did a video on these earlier this year. If not, I will link in the comments or description to a video that I know I did last year with Maiden roses. So, been pretty busy over the last couple weeks in the garden. I've done absolutely nothing since August right into the spring months. So tons of black spots, a lot of loss of leaves, the roses not looking good, weeds. I'm compiling a video on all of that. We'll call it the recovery of the garden. But that's going to take a little while to put together. So I wanted to do an update on some good looking things in the garden. And those are these Maiden roses. Right now you're looking at Cajun Sunrise. It's a rose that's been around for a while, exhibition rose. Steve Singer at Wisconsin Roses. His website is now different. I'll put that in the description. It was wiroses.com. Now it's Wisconsin Roses. I know that he had some website issues, so it might not still fully be up yet, but his contact information is on the website, and you can certainly follow him on Instagram as well. I will link in the description what a maiden rose is. But first off, I purchased 5 maiden roses this past spring. They arrived sometime in April, and you can see what they're looking like right now. This one is White Princess. It's lost some of its roses already, so you can't see the bloom. But the description of the video, or the video I'll link, will be much more descriptive on what a maiden rose is. But what I'm pointing to right now is the shank of the multiflora. So this is the rootstock. You can see where I cut it off. And then these are 3 canes that have come out of that initial bud eye that was grafted onto the rootstock. So you can see we're just into the last couple days of June. They arrived in April, and you can see I've got 3 canes on White Princess. This is another rose that's really nice. This is Robert Bruce, really nice yellow rose. And you'll see they grow at different times. You can see I've got a little bit of black spot, but now I'm getting more religious with my spraying, so the leaves are starting to look good. This one, let's see, I have, looks like multiple canes on this one. It's hard to tell, 2 or 3. So you usually get that one initial cane, and then other ones will develop, but it's looking like a good rose, albeit just a couple months after I got it. One kind of neat thing, you cut off the multiflora, and usually I just throw it away, but this time I used part of the multiflora to hold the name tags so I would remember what everything was. So this is Robert Bruce. Steve grafted this back on August 6th of last year. So I just put these down into the container. Most of them just shriveled up and died, but one looks like it rooted. So I have to tell Steve that. It's kind of interesting. So Robert Bruce, a nice yellow rose, one of the maidens I got. White Princess, these are 2 newer roses, not sure how they'll do. And the one that has done well in the past, again, I've got some black spot. That's for me not being as religious with my spraying. Still kind of getting caught up with that. You can see from this graph, multiple canes as well. Long single stems, beautiful leaves, and even in this wind here, we've been quite windy lately. Let me show you. Good centers, a smaller bloom initially. This is Cajun Sunrise, but that coloring is really, really nice. So you can get these roses from Steve Singer. Typically, what you'll find on the site is a small selection of exhibition roses. And what I mean by that, roses that traditionally produce long single stem blooms or canes and then have pinpoint centers on the rose. So you're getting high quality roses, established roses that have done well in the past, like Hot Princess, Affirm, to name a few. So he's got a small selection of that. You won't see as many varieties as you will see at some other vendors, but you're hard pressed to find a better quality rose sent to you as a maiden rose, which is a rose that has been budded and grafted onto the side of multiflora. He also does custom budding. So let's say you have a rose in the garden that you really like and you can't get it to root, or you don't know how to graft it, you can send him the budwood and he will charge a fee, and he'll, it's the same as if you just order a regular rose from him. So you send him the budwood, I forget if it's $18 or $20 a plant, and that will be the charge when you order it from him. So I tried to root this rose for years and years and years. This is Dizzy Heights. It's a climbing rose. It was in my parents' garden for years. They moved down recently to my area, and then my father passed this past winter. So even prior to that, I really wanted a copy of this rose. I could not get it to root. And again, we're talking years and years I've tried to do this. I'm not knowledgeable in grafting, so I sent it to Steve, and he budded multiple copies, you know, in case one didn't take. You can see this one did. I ordered 2, and then this is a second one here. The coloring on it is like Hot Princess. It's a beautiful pink rose, but it's a climbing rose. And the thing that stood out is it's extremely, it grew really well in my parents' garden. You can see ordered, shipped in April. It's got multiple canes. It's really starting to take off. So you can buy exhibition roses, ones that have been established, or you can send him one of your roses from your garden to have him custom budded. Steve also is getting into hybridization, and he has some new varieties that he has hybridized. He's a great follow on Instagram. I'll try to link that as well if you're a rosarian. He's meticulous from how he does his maidens, growing them in the year before to budding them. His greenhouse is organized, and it's a pretty neat follow because he's a backyard gardener. And what I mean by that is he's got a suburban lot like me. He's not some big rose factory, and he's doing this in his backyard, you know, a smaller mid-sized lot, and he just produces some great grafts of exhibition quality roses. And like I mentioned, he's getting into hybridization as well. Another little update, this is not one of Steve's roses, this is one that I've done, and I can tell that we must have a little rabbit out here. I just noticed I'm missing some leaves. So this is Fortuniana. I have unsuccessfully tried to root that for years, and I finally got I kind of, you know, put together a hose and a timer and a misting end to it, and I, you know, kind of made up a misting house. These need to be misted every 5 minutes or so as they're trying to take root. It's very difficult to root Fortuniana, but I was finally successful. I will try to link to that video. I posted about this in the late winter, but you can see how well it's doing. I need to repot this into a bigger pot. It's doing very well. I just have to make sure I keep it away from the rabbits, because this is missing some leaves. We got a whole family of rabbits in the yard. Incidentally, that's one thing I kept these maidens away from those rabbits, because they will like that tender new growth. Right now they're in the driveway. We had a big storm last night. I need to stake these up, and I haven't gotten around to it. So to protect them, I just threw them in the garage so that I didn't have to worry about them blowing over or getting injured. So that's it. Look for a longer video on the update on the garden. Again, it looked pretty terrible this spring. I've been super busy since August when my parents moved down, but the point of the video is to show your garden can make a comeback. Just because you have black spot now doesn't mean you can't get rid of it, and you certainly can. You know, it's better to stay ahead of it, but life happens, and it doesn't mean you should give up on the garden. Just keep at it, and you can certainly turn it around. We'll try to do a video on that. Well, I'll last leave you with a couple nice blooms. Again, this is Robert Bruce, a nice yellow rose from Steve Singer. And then this is Cajun Sunrise, kind of an oldie but goodie. Very, very nice blooms. Hope everyone's doing well. And as always, I appreciate the support on YouTube. You can also follow along Rosie Forecast on Instagram. Have a great day, everyone.